Hello, and welcome to Twitter Versus. So, back in the middle of 2024, a woman named Alice came out accusing her ex-boyfriend, popular YouTuber I'm Alex, of both verbal and physical assault. Now, over 9 months later, he has finally responded, with a 1 hour and 42-minute video titled, My Response, and a Twitter statement which reads as, since my video response, Alice has posted that she filed a police report on the 27th of May, 2024. Alice says she refuses to watch my video despite making many claims about it which are untrue. Alex then links to this Twitter post from Alice saying that she filed the police report. Alex then says in his statement, Alice refuses to watch my video. He then links a reply thread with Alice at the end saying, I'm not watching his monetized video on my abusive past relationship to account his apologies to me. I'm sorry. The stories that are in this report have been fabricated, as I have shown in my video. Alice falsely accused me of pulling her to the ground and putting her in a headlock on the second day of living together in the report, despite her writing in her document that it happened on the 4th. There is no evidence to back up these claims in Alice's story, as it is untrue, and I have addressed this in my video. He addressed it here at 11:25. Here's the clip.
Alice says that my story will contradict hers, and that is because Alice knows that our relationship is not how she has portrayed it online. Alice has lied constantly, and I can prove this with the text evidence that she is intentionally not included, as it contradicts her own story. Alice says we had a huge fight where I dragged her, covered her mouth, and put her in a headlock, and that this happened on the 19th of October, a few days after we had moved in with each other. There are no texts from this time that even suggest that we were fighting or had been in a fight, and that's because this did not happen. On the 19th of October, Alice asked me to call, and the next text message was Alice asking me to sort out my bike in the garage. Later that same day, Alice asked me what's happening, and I tell her the cat had shut me in the cupboard because I was fixing our heating, and then that night we texted about packages arriving the next day. At 1 past midnight, Alice tells me she'd made me pizza, and then on the 20th of October, Alice asked me what I want from the shop, and then we go on to talk about buying Pokemon cards. To claim we had a huge fight where I'd physically assaulted Alice is a lie. I never did these things Alice has accused me of doing, because this never happened. Alice has texted her mum and used this as proof that this event had taken place after screenshotting the text in real time, as the messages display the words today instead of the date that they were taken. Alice knew she would be using them in her document, and that she had been planning this full story about me. Alice has used these texts to make it seem like I had physically assaulted her, when this never happened. This isn't the only time Alice has used similar proof to claim something had happened which had never taken place at all, and she does this many times in her document. Alice provided a list of events that she had written herself directly into her notes app as evidence, and has attached them to her document as proof. But Alice was still writing these stories after she had said that she had moved out, which shows that these were written at a later date retroactively for this document. Anyone could have written down anything on any date and claimed that it was true. Writing down words into a notes app can be done at any time, and is in no way, shape or form proof that something happened. The texts between us from that time reflect a totally different story that Alice has not included in her document, even though she provided an exact date of the day this had apparently taken place. Instead, Alice has fabricated a story entirely, and has accused me of being physically abusive to hide the fact that she had been slapping, punching, and kicking me throughout our relationship, something that she had tried to hide from her document, and has lied about on Twitter publicly. At no point has this story ever been consistent, as Alice said that this happened on the 4th day that we moved in with each other in her document and in her notes app, but then it texted me that it happened on the 2nd. And to be clear, the text messages from the 17th of October also show that this was not the case.
I never claimed Alice didn't file a report, as a police report could be filed on anyone at any time for any reason, whether what is claimed in that report is true or not. It would not be possible for me to know at any point if this had happened, because a report is not a proper investigation or a guilty verdict. All this does is show that there wasn't an investigation and that no charges were pressed, which is what I'm corrected in my video, as Alice had posted that this was the case, which it was untrue. At no point have I been approached by police in any way, shape, or form. Yet Alice claimed she had pressed charges against me and had done everything she could, despite now posting that she didn't when she apparently had the option to take it further. Which, once again, is the point made in the video, as Alice had been claiming otherwise online, whilst also telling commentary channels the police had done nothing, despite now saying the police had given her the option to take this to court, which she now says she declined. At no point has this been consistent, and the story has been changed constantly. Quote, police had done nothing. Timestamp 120, here's the clip.
Criminal record. Alice also says in the same messages that the police didn't do anything at all. These statements completely contradict each other, as it would not be possible for the police to have done nothing, and for the police to have put me on the system as a convicted criminal or as someone with a criminal record.
This is the tweet about not taking it further. The tweet reads as, yeah, they didn't do anything. It became an option to take him to court, and I couldn't do it. I didn't have it in me. I figured talking about it here was enough. Quote, I did everything I could. Timestamp 39 seconds. And here's the clip.
Alice has continued to make false allegations about me to this day and said that she had pressed charges against me in a comment on TikTok. This is a lie, as at no point have I been interviewed, arrested, or charged with a crime, but Alice continues to slander me publicly with these lies.
Alice denies kicking me. Here's the tweet right here. The tweet reads as, if you can read, I said I didn't kick him, and that I pushed him off me because I didn't want to be near him. He didn't add context onto why. Funny that he said I donkey kicked his head and neck. Where's the text of that? Nowhere. I'm 5'2". You think I can do that? Alice has gone on to post that she never kicked me, despite admitting to this in the very messages she is responding to. Alice says that this is impossible because she is 5'2". I made it incredibly clear in the video that Alice refuses to watch, that we were both lying down in our bed. She had turned around with my back facing towards her and had begun to kick me until I fell out of the bed. Alice says I didn't explain the context as to why she did this, but I did, and it's in the screenshots that she replied to. It was due to my illness and being shirtless in bed. I had complained about this happening on other occasions over text, which is also in my video. Alice says there is no text evidence of her kicking me, despite the screenshot she has responded to clearly showing Alice admitting to kicking me and that she had a reason for why she had done this, as it was due to me sleeping shirtless. Alice said, where's the text of that? Despite once again responding to those very texts shown in that tweet. I have also shown a text of me complaining about this on iMessage at the time, which is in the video she refuses to watch. My text to Alice at 19:28, here's the clip, roll it.
We had also texted about this exact situation. I told Alice I didn't want to upset her as she was angry that I no longer would share a bed with her anymore because she had been kicking me and calling me fat because I had told her that I couldn't sleep with a shirt on because of my illness.
Alice calls into question there being no text despite that being untrue, yet has posted in her document and in her police report that I had dragged her, choked her, and pulled her to the floor, which there is no text evidence for, as I have shown in my video. Since posting these tweets, Alice deleted a reply that she said she hadn't fabricated anything when questioned on Twitter about the inconsistencies in her story. The deleted tweet is currently on screen, and it reads as, haven't fabricated one thing at all. Alice also wrote in her report that I was harassing her despite me trying to end our relationship multiple times. Alice told the police I was harassing her by sending her letters and a bear, two things that she had asked me to do, which she then used to build her story to the police and document. I have also shown this in my video. Alice saying she won't watch my video. We have already seen this, so there's no point in putting it on screen. Alice has also made a post saying he got his diagnosis after we split and wasn't in contact anymore. I made it clear in the video that I was not diagnosed at the time and that Alice was spreading false information, which I had to correct publicly as it is not true. I am not comfortable with my personal information being speculated on publicly by my ex-girlfriend, who is no longer in my life, but due to the constant post Alice was making about me, I felt I was forced to correct this. Alice's tweets about me, 7 minutes, 40 seconds in. Here's the clip.
During our relationship. Due to Alice's constant posting about me and my own personal issues, my response has been delayed many times, and all of this will be covered throughout this video.
Regardless, this isn't an excuse for my behavior, which I made very clear in the video, and in my psychiatric document, where I openly discuss being verbally abusive towards her with my psychiatrist. I apologized many times in private to Alice for how unacceptable it was, which can be seen throughout the video, as I had tried to sort this out privately on many occasions. I am deeply sorry for things turning out this way. It is my responsibility to do better. Alice has since posted, I guess it's round 2, but this is not a situation that I can take lightly, and I have no interest in continue this any further publicly after this post. I have read the many comments about how this should have been sorted appropriately and privately, and I agree. I only made my response because I was forced to due to the constant lies that were posted about me and still being posted about me to this day that I had not responded to for the last year. Here's Alice's round 2 tweet right here on screen. Alice had planned this document since January and had been blackmailing me throughout our relationship with my reactions to her physical abuse, as I showed in my video. Alice always intended to publicize a false version of any incredibly toxic and abusive relationship, and I apologize for my involvement in that, as it could have been prevented. And there is no excuse for how I reacted to the environment that was created. Planning her document in advance. Here's the clip on screen.
But Alice asked me to make a public apology to stop her ongoing harassment of me.
As shown in my video, Alice would go through my phone throughout our entire relationship, which prevented me from being able to speak to anyone or record any of the events that transpired when I tried to leave. I should have done more to end our relationship at the time, and regretted allowing it to get to the point in which it did. Taking my phone, here's the clip from 1 hour and 6 seconds in.
Alice writes in a document that after going through my phone, she found pictures of my ex-girlfriends on there, and this once again is a complete lie. Alice says, he ended up being secretive over his phone to what I then discovered was him stalking his ex on all social platforms. In brackets, it's been years since they broke up, and found her old NSFW pictures he kept of her. He said sorry, and that was it. Alice also showed a message that says, it was never an issue before, so why is it now, in regards to going through my phone. This is because I had refused to give Alice my phone.
The video is not monetized by me, as I have made clear in the description and pinned comment. It was claimed due to the multiple TikTok lip sync videos Alice made about me and the abuse. And here's the images linked below. It has since been brought to my attention that Alice is deleting comments and has privated her Instagram and TikTok comment sections due to the harassment online. I would appreciate it if people would not attack anyone I have mentioned, as that was not my intention when I posted this video. and I regret that it has played out publicly. I would like to say thank you to those who have supported me through this time. It does not go unnoticed, and I greatly appreciate it. Well, that was a reading of I'm Alex's statement on Twitter. Let me know what you think in the comments, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.